So how does a company like Apple pay just $50 in tax on $1 million of profit? Sounds crazy, right? Well, let's get into how one of the wealthiest companies in the world managed to pay a tax rate so low it was basically nothing.
Okay, get ready for this. For years, Apple's effective tax rate on its profits from outside the US was, wait for it, 0.005%. Yeah, you heard that right. So, what does that number even mean? It means for every single $1 million in profit they made overseas, Apple paid a measly $50 in tax. 50! That's not just a loophole, that's a massive, gaping canyon in the tax code.
So, how in the world did they pull this off? Well, it was a strategy famously known as the double Irish. It's kind of brilliant in a sneaky way. Apple created these shell companies over in Ireland. We're talking companies with no real offices, no employees, nothing. Then profits from all the European sales got routed through these companies and then zipped right over to a tax haven. Poof! Billions of dollars just vanished from the IRS's radar.
And we're not talking about small change here. Between 2003 and 2014, Apple managed to shelter a mind-boggling $120 billion using this method. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire economy of a lot of countries.
Now here is a really important point to understand. What Apple was doing, it wasn't technically illegal. This wasn't tax evasion, which is when you illegally hide your income. This was tax avoidance. It's a whole different beast. They weren't breaking the law. They were just exploiting these incredibly complex loopholes that already existed.
In fact, it was so effective that a U.S. Senate investigation back in 2013 literally called it the holy grail of tax avoidance. You'd think that would lead to some serious consequences, right? Nope. Despite all the public anger, Apple didn't face a single penalty or back tax order here in the U.S.
So this all begs a pretty big question, doesn't it? When a giant corporation makes billions and billions in profit but pays next to nothing in taxes, who ends up making up for that shortfall? Who actually pays the bill?
Well, the answer is probably not going to surprise you. It's you. It's us. When all that corporate tax money just disappears, the responsibility to pay for everything, schools, roads, all those public services, it falls right onto the shoulders of the middle class.
Eventually, though, Europe decided it had enough. In 2016, the EU hit Apple with a massive $14.5 billion bill for back taxes, and by 2020, the double Irish loophole was officially shut down for good. But, you know the story. The game is far from over. Big companies just find new, creative ways to play.
And really, this whole saga just shines a light on a pretty stark reality about our tax system. When you think about it, for you and me, for most of us, taxes are just